I'm very much enjoying this conversation, and I understand some of the work because of my own connection with this. One of the things that occurs to me is how the conversation, the emergent conversation, becomes aware of itself. Because I understand the matter of intention and making the field coherent.
Yeah.
But how the whole collective becomes aware of itself in a way that fuels the emergence. So that there is a consciousness of process along with the content that's emerging.
That's right. That's right.
Was this are you just stating that, or was this also kind of a question?
It is a question as to how you hold that in terms of building this whole process.
Yeah. I mean, my response to this would be, it starts with my own recognition that I am not really separate from the process as a whole. In the moment, or as long as I hold myself as a separate individual, I look from the outside to this process. But in the moment that I start to see, I don't have to look from the outside to this process. This process is not really separate from myself.
Yes.
And in the moment that not only I do this, but also you and I do this.
And so does James, and so does Savannah, and so does Deborah, and so does Margaret, then something happens.
Then I would say that's the moment of the process becoming self-conscious. Through us.
Yes.
To us recognizing that we are not really separate. Because that's quite a spiritual point of us, because in this, when I recognize I'm not separate of this dialogue process here right now, and you recognize that you're not separate from this dialogue process, we also recognize that I and you are not really separate.
Right.
That doesn't take anything away from our individuality. That's true also. But there's another, maybe even deeper part, that is one process that is emerging through our individuality.
But it is, as an individual, I make a profound choice to identify myself more with this process that is happening right now than with my own thoughts and ideas and emotional experience and so forth. I invest something through a deep care and identification with this process. It's like the baby that we're caring about isn't just the baby out there. The baby is me, is us. It is this, and I care about that. And it's in that there's something that begins to move at a different level of self-awareness.
I can feel that in my body even. Let me just pass you to my partner.
Shayla.
That was really, really beautiful. What you just articulated, Elizabeth. And I
can't hear you. Sorry, can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like that edge that you just described, where I'm not suppressing my own individuality, because that doesn't work. That's where I avoid the creative friction, right? But when I actually feel that I'm not separate from the process, when I feel that in my body, then this deep care, which is a much deeper level of responsibility, starts to emerge in me,
right,
and also in the whole group. And that's an amazing thing to be a part of.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I love that you just presence that. It's just so moving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really, really grateful to be here today.
Thank you. I'm grateful that you're here and that you're all here and you're all engaging. It's very touching.
Hello. Hi. Hi guys. I just I wanted to fill out this idea of when something becomes self-conscious between us. I don't know, fill that out or explore something, but isn't there a sense that when it's the most self-conscious between us that we forget ourselves, and we forget that we're in it together in a way. So in a way it starts to operate through us, and just that sense, that the irony really, I guess, of how, you know, we can understand the mechanics of how dialogue works in a way that's, you know, very sophisticated. And yet when we really feel like it happens, it's when we forget all the rules, and it's all just flowing through us. We forget ourselves. We forget something, and yet I don't want to say that we become unaware of the process itself, but the attention is so much on the emergent, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the irony there, and I thought it's kind of significant.
Yeah. It's interesting because we do lose ourselves in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's our individuality, our knowledge, our sensitivities, become highlighted, you know, or are given in a way. Like what then happens with me forgetting myself is different than what happens with you forgetting yourself, because you are a different human being. So there's an interesting way that one is more at home and more able to be kind of used in this way that is unique, and yet it's not self-conscious in that old way.
Exactly. And there's another irony to it that I really find puzzling. It was Shayla and her partner. I don't know your name. What you brought up, that you can feel this in your body. There's an irony. If you just kind of be aware of, we're sitting here, I don't know how many thousand kilometers apart, all together, just on a screen. And something is emerging between us, basically mediated through pixels on the screen and waves from a loudspeaker. And there seems to be a process in consciousness that my body responds to as a form of recognition. What's happening? What's happening right now is not separate from my body experience. I really find it puzzling, and at the same time, we don't have the time right now. Very worthwhile to pursue what does this mean. That this is the case, because you're not having an intellectual discussion right now. We're having something that really goes deep into our body sensual recognition of a life process as a human species. Yeah. I find it fascinating.
I think life process is it's an exploration of aliveness, of, you know, aliveness not as an idea but as an enactment, as us, as you know, as a life process.
Well, and we've talked about this before, but that is almost a guide, isn't it? In terms of where that body sense, that sense of what is the most alive in this conversation. What is it where, you know, because as we experience this together, we feel more alive in ourselves, and so in a sense that is an indicator where to go next. In a way.
Yeah, exactly.